Okay, so we're going to go over factoring. This style is called fearless factoring. The whole point of this is to go from what form? From standard form to what?
Factored form?
Factored form. And the process is called?
Factor.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if this is my standard form, I need to be able to distinguish what my A, B, and C value is. So which one, or which coefficient is my A?
6.
Yeah, so that's my A, which is my B?
26.
Okay, so it's positive 26, and which is my C?
Negative 20.
Negative 20, perfect. That's really important for what we're about to do next. We need to find two values that multiply to the coefficients multiplied by each other. Do you know which two?
6 and negative 20.
Yeah, and what do they call those in letters? What letters are those?
A and C.
Yeah, we need to find the A times the C, okay? And these same two numbers need to add up to what letter?
B.
To our B term. Good. And you're 100% right. Our A was our 6, and our C is our negative 20. Okay, so that's going to be important. And our B was just 26. So let's kind of rewrite this again so it's a little easier for us to work with. Minus X. So we've got to figure out what that is. That's going to be negative 120. Okay, and our B term is still our B term. It's 26. So this one, trial and error, is going to take a little while. We're not going to focus too much on the positive and negative value. We're going to focus on the actual absolute value of the term. So 120. Well, we got 1 and 120, but that's clearly not going to add up to 26. That's not going to be very good. 2 and 60, same boat. We're kind of far. 3 and 40, we're getting closer, but it's clearly not going to add up to 26. So we'll start getting into a better range here. 4 goes in. 4 times 30. 4 times 30 might work out really well. And this is the reason I say this. If I go negative 30 and 4, okay, we end up with negative 26. Whoops, I didn't want that to happen. Oh, they all disappeared. But if I go positive 4 and negative 30, well, 4 plus negative 30. Oh, sorry, I did it the wrong way. Positive 30 and negative 4. Negative 4 plus positive 30 is positive 26. So that's going to check out here. And then our positive and negative, positive times a negative is negative, and 4 times 30 is 120. So those are our two terms that are going to be important for what we're doing, okay? So the next step here, this is the confusing part, okay? We're going to set up two brackets, kind of like our factored form. Do you remember what term goes into the front of both of these brackets?
The A term.
Yeah, the term attached to the A. So usually they call it like the first term in the brackets. Okay, so are we going to put 6x squared in both?
No, just 6x.
Yeah, okay, so essentially we've halved the exponent. So just 6x in the beginning of both. What is the second term in each of these brackets?
Negative 4 and then 30.
Yeah, we just put them in either way. So we'll start with negative 4 like you said, and positive 30. And finally, we're going to divide everything by what?
By the A value.
A value. What was the A value in this one?
6.
That's right, it was 6. It's very convoluted, hard to see now, but we divide everything by 6. Great. Now, let's rewrite this all in black so it's easier to look at. Do you know what the next step is going to be? How can we simplify what we have here?
To find a common factor in the brackets.
Okay, exactly. When you find a common factor in the brackets. So we might be able to find common factors in both. Let's take a look at the first set of brackets. Can you find a common factor of these two terms?
2.
Yeah, we can divide 2 out of both of these. So as a side note, I'm just going to write 2 here. That's what we found for the first one, and then we'll divide it in the next. What about in the second one? Can you find a common factor here?
6.
Yeah, you're right. Very good. Because 2 would have worked, 3 would have worked, but 6 is the greatest common factor. And that's what we want. We want the greatest common factor for each of these. Okay, so we're going to take 6 out. So 6 is going to come in front. Now, instead of writing it like this, 2 and 6, I'm going to put both of them at the front. And they don't become 26, but it's essentially 2 times 6. Okay, so that 2 term goes here. That 6 term goes here. Okay, and then we rewrite our brackets. 6x divided by 2, what would that give us?
4x?
Close. 3.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's okay. And negative 4 divided by 2.
2.
Yeah, negative 2. Good. And in our other one, the 6's cancel out, so we're left with just x. And do you know what 30 divided by 6 off the top of your
5.
head? Yeah, that's right. Positive 5. Okay. Still, this is all divided by our 6th term. Okay. Now, I could have decided, well, 2 times 6, I know that in my head is just 12, and I could have just written this as 12. But the reason I did it this way, without simplifying those terms, is so that you can see there's a 6 here and there's a 6 here, and I can reduce this. If I cancel out these 6's, they essentially create 1's, then that's nice and simplified, and we're left with 2 in front of these brackets, which is very similar to our factor form. We actually have an a value other than 1. So it'll be written like this. These 6's create a 1, or cancel out. A lot of people will tell you that's how they describe it. And we have 2, bracket 3x minus 2, and x plus 5. Okay, and if you look, that's very similar, or exactly like our factor form. Our a value actually has a value other than a. A lot of times there's nothing there and they don't write it, but our a value is 2 in this case. And then we have 3x minus 2 and x plus 5.